What is going? Oh man, dude, I forgot to add your thing. Hold on a second, guys. Give me one quick second. I forgot to add his thing to the Mr. Farley's thing to the chat here. So just give me a quick second as I add this. 1 second, guys. Do, do, do. There he is, the handsome Mr. Farley. What is going on, guys? We got some fun stuff in store for us tonight. Mike, just talk a little bit just to make sure that you are have
You
your
hear me
sound.
all right? I'm
You
here.
can,
You can see me.
everybody can hear you. Great. Perfect. All right, guys. So anyway, we got some fun stuff to talk about tonight. We got our toy hammer. This time I'm not going to be by myself, which is pretty cool because we got a friend of the show, Michael Farley, back. So he was just at last week the Warhammer Dallas, or the Warhammer Open for Dallas, and it was
Yeah,
from the 23rd to the 26th. Is that correct?
yeah. And then
Cool.
yeah, they're doing a bunch all over the world. I think the next one is in Edmonton in two
Oh,
weeks
cool.
now. Yeah,
Cool. Very cool. Just really quickly go through what the Warhammer Opens are, and then we're gonna jump over to the Joy Toy stuff.
so it's one of the probably they're the biggest events behind the Las Vegas Open as well. I think the Las Vegas Open they're different companies but this
Okay.
one is the official Games Workshop like circuit. Um, they're really big. This one had close to 300 players in it. I know the one in
Wow.
Edmonton has, I think, 300 people, or if not more, going to it. And it's just like one of the biggest. It's 3 days, 8 games of Warhammer. With if you're the top cut, a potential shadow round ninth game, but that's like there's only like 8 people that do that. That's the 1% of the 1% that go. Um, and it's honestly it's a blast. But yeah, it's just one of the biggest Warhammer tournaments in North America, run by Games Workshop officially.
Very cool. All right, awesome. So we're gonna talk about your experience, and we got some pictures tonight too of his tournament, as well as what he ran, and as well as how many opponents you had. 8 opponents, 8 matches. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I play. Everyone's
Cool.
guaranteed 8 games.
Cool. And we're going to try to get through this within a full hour and a half tonight, guys. No
Speed,
2 hours.
speed.
We're going to go through this quick. So if you guys got questions in the chat, shoot them up. So really quickly, we got a couple people in chat. So we got DG, what is going on, dude? We got Mr. Cyber Rat, what's going on? And we got Lone, what's going on, dude? What's going on? All right, guys. So we're gonna talk first about the Joy Toy stuff because we got some fun news this week. Let me make sure that you can see what I am sharing because I did not confirm that. Let me just change this. Aha, there we go. And then Mr. Farley, let me make sure that you are seeing what I am sharing.
I am. I can.
Very cool. All right, cool. So again, so this week we got some awesome news, especially as a I know I'm not wearing my Blood Angel stuff. So, but we got some awesome news for 40K Joy Toy fans. We got the Blood Angel Predator tank, which is coming first because we were kind of expecting that we would get a tank essentially for these Joy Toy figures, but I think that everybody was under the assumption we were going to see the Ultramarines version first because everything we've seen, god damn it, has been first for the Ultramarines. Okay, the
Of
fact that
course.
we're getting something for the Blood Angels first is absolutely crazy. So anyway, so I think this was announced on Friday,
the Blood Angels are like everyone's favorite cousin, you know. The Golden Sun is the Ultramarines, but then like you know everyone's like, oh man, but when are we seeing the Blood Angels again? They're so cool.
I feel like that's correct. I feel like that's correct. I feel like my introduction to the Blood Angels was the game Battle Sector, right, a couple of years ago, and that's kind of actually that's really the first Space Marine troops that I enjoyed. So that that's kind of why I have the Blood Angels as my second favorite chapter. Now, so they announced this Blood Angels Annihilator, and we're going to go into that in a second. We'll look at some of the pictures. But one thing I want to make mention of, so this is the official JOYTOY website. Now, if you could see behind me, right underneath wrong here, my Wraith symbol here, I ordered 10 of the Intercessor 2, right? Because on the unofficial pictures, which I'm not going to share, but the unofficial pictures, we got some pictures of the tank with the Blood Angel figures, right? And then any eagle-eyed person would realize that those are the V2 Intercessors, which are right here for some reason. I don't know why. I think they're V2. They're the Intercessors on the unofficial pictures, essentially showing inside the tank and everything. Now, one thing that JOYTOY has had happen recently, especially with the Space Marine 2 figures, is they've had scale creep. So the figures, everybody is all of a sudden a Primaris Marine, even though the 40K figures are supposed to be Primaris. So we've had a scale creep. So one of the things I noticed in the unofficial pictures, which I saw, is we have these Intercessors sitting inside the side of the tank with no problem. We did not see any of the later figures sitting inside of the tank. Again, they're Blood Angels, so maybe that's the reason why. But then again, we've got the jump pack Intercessors, which are bigger than these ones. Anyway, the point is I ordered 10 total figures. I'm going to order 2 of the tanks tonight. I ordered
Damn.
5 for each, right? Because that's what I'm seeing inside of the tanks. So my question is to the chat. So to you guys, excuse me. So on the official JOYTOY website, we see this. Now, don't go by the price here, right? These are actually like closer to $30, right, for each figure, because you have to, if you're in the States, you have to, this is how they're paying the those tariff charges, right? So there's nothing that says V2 here, but what it does is it says new product resale expected shipping August 2025. Now the tank is supposed to come out in November 2025. So my question, and I think somebody in my Discord was saying, somebody said that these are going to be version 3. So I have never seen a version 3 Intercessor. Maybe this is the first time we're going to see this. But everything on these pictures look like version 2. So if we do get a version 3, that's cool. If we get more version 2, that's cool also. Either way, I wanted more Intercessors. This was an excuse to get more, because I'm going to make a massive diorama this summer with 50 Gene Stealers and my entire Blood Angels army all mixed up. But either way, I'll be set for when the 2 tanks come to me in November, because I'll have my additional 10 Intercessors ready to roll. That was a mouthful. So anyway, here's the tank. So this is coming out November 2025. It looks oh man, dude, it looks awesome. Like, one thing that I made mention of on Instagram, somebody mentioned on the post, was I used to collect up till last year GI Joe classified figures, right? They're bigger GI Joe figures that they recently came out with. There was a tank that they came out with. I ordered the tank. I actually sold all of my GI Joes and that tank before I opened it up. So I have not opened up a tank. Okay. So seeing this, I'm like, oh, I'm buying 2 of these. I'm buying 2 of these. So this looks awesome. Like, all the compartments, everything opens up. Here's all the pieces.
I'm surprised that they went with the las cannon sponsons on top, because I feel like the flamer that goes on top is a lot more iconic.
I agree. I wonder if they're gonna have changeable parts for this, because everything comes off, right? So
Yeah.
we have, and if you look at the figures themselves, they can swap weapons, right?
Mhm.
So this is really the first figure. No, that's not true. We have with the Grey Knights NDK. you couldn't really change the artillery weapons that are on their arms, right?
Mhm.
So maybe because they're showing it here, maybe we'll get like some weapons packs or something in the future. But
Yeah.
this looks cool. So one thing I want to quickly highlight with DG. So Calgarner's Squadron confirmed for this month. Cool. So that's what I talked about a couple weeks ago with you. I shared the
Yeah.
Calgar from the Space Marine 2. I have
Yeah. The
Calgar and
Victrix
2
Guard.
Victrix.
Yeah.
Yes, I got 2 of those coming too. And so DG is also saying that the intercessors are going to be 3.0. I wonder if that means they're going to be bigger, or is it just additional articulation, or what does that mean exactly from that perspective? So we'll see. But these pictures look awesome, dude. It looks absolutely amazing. I created a video that went up this morning on it, like a quick announcement. One thing that's funny is the service or the AI. I use something called Kling AI to try to animate the pictures, right? Or the whatever it is of the figures. And all of a sudden they came out with Kling AI 2.1, right? I was using 2.0 for a long time, came out with 2.1. All of a sudden, it doesn't work anymore for anything that is related to military. Nothing. So if I have something, I try to upload and animate just a picture of the tank. Nope, it goes against the policies. So Kling AI is in China, so I guess that they implemented some stuff. I was so angry Friday night, dude. I was so pissed off. So anyway, these pictures look great. The tank looks awesome. It'll be very interesting. Here you can see kind of like the side pieces. Inside here is cool. We get the panels. This would be awesome if these were some kind of like hologram stickers or something like that, but these are going to be definitely painted on. It looks awesome. Like everything looks really great. The only thing that's interesting is the treads are not going to move, at least up to my understanding. I don't think the treads are going to move. Now, that's kind of a miss, especially I assume that the treads were going to move, but it doesn't look like it. Now, if anybody knows differently in the chat, let me know. But the price on this is $100 plus $116 for the tariff
Ooh.
charges. Yeah. So
Woof.
it's more akin to 216, about 220, right? So that's okay though, because I've already paid a lot of money for other things. Again, the size of this, what this is coming with, I am totally in on this. I'm gonna order 2 from LT Cave after we finish our stream here tonight. But yeah, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they create variant packs for cannons. Yeah, I would assume that they're going to do that because that's an easy money
Yeah.
grab for them.
The Flamestorm cannon on top of that thing is so iconic. It's got the little domed head, and then no other faction even has that. So
Exactly. And then we also got last week was the announcement of the Iron Warriors. And I'll go back really quickly to this because there's a really important piece here. So we got the Iron Warriors. These are the 30K figures, the Tyrant Siege ones, right? And this is why I want to highlight this really quick because this would be the first time for Warhammer figures that we're getting. Let me get a close up of here. Here we go. We're getting a blast effect. So on other JOYTOY figures, they have blast effects and so on. So if they come out with the the flamer on the top of the Blood Angels tank, we got to come out with a flame effect, dude. Please come out with a
totally.
flame effect. We're gonna have like third party people making it, but like we gotta get something officially for JOYTOY, especially because these look so cool. Like they've already proven that they can do this. So hopefully they do that, and we see if they do the packs, we see some type of a flamer pack, which will come out with it. So anyway, what do you think looking at this as a tabletop player? And you've played against the Blood Angels before, and you've played against obviously the tank divisions. What do you think?
It's massive. Looks like you put a newborn in there.
Yeah, it's a big boy.
It's honestly big enough that like I know the people are able to put electronics into the little tabletop miniatures and
Yep.
get them to move. You totally could like soup that up and get it to move.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually surprised that the treads are not going to move. Um, that's kind of a big bummer. I would have thought with this price we would get the treads moving, or with it would be treads and then the treads moving. But we'll see. We'll see if that's something that is because I haven't heard
And
any official word if that's the case.
actually,
And
on the thing of effects, if you guys are looking for like effect things, Deadly Print Studios has a lot of
oh,
either like pre-printed or an STLs for like and faction supported. Like they have like ion shield effects for Tau and plasma rifle effects and all and psychic stuff for Tyranids. It's really really cool.
that's
So
cool.
if you're looking for like cool different gun effects and battlefield effects, I know Deadly Prince is a big one. It's really cool.
Very cool. Now the other thing that some people were saying in chat too is we're going to see treads won't work. They end in the hidden part of the tank. Oh, that sucks. All right, so we're not. So what do they have? Wheels on the bottom of this? Because I didn't see the bottom of it. DG, is that what they're doing? They're gonna have just wheels on the bottom. This could be like the old GI Joe, like tanks and stuff. Like some of the tanks just had plastic treads. So also Ultramarine will have a destruction barrel and a assault cannon. So that's the other thing is with we got the Imperial Knight, which is going to be coming this month, right? The massive Imperial Knight. When they announced it last year in March, they showed the blue one and they showed a red one. Now, when they officially announced that they're going to be selling these at their trade show they did last year, when they initially said that they were going to do pre-purchase, they only showed the blue one. They did not show the red one. And it's kind of the same thing here. It's if it does well in pre-sales or it does well in sales, then we're going to see an ultramarine version of this. Just like if we see the Imperial Knight do well, we'll see that red model come out for the Imperial Knight. So there's supposed to be an ultramarine version of this floating around, so people have seen pictures of it. And so DG was saying there'll be a destructor barrel and assault cannons for the side for the ultramarine version. So nobody cares about the Smurfs, but anyway, we're going to provide the news anyway. So there we go. But this looks cool. I know you don't collect the JOYTOY figures, but if you did, is this something that you would get?
If I'm making Space Marines, I'd probably pick up a tank. I mean, they're
Yep.
iconic, right? And I mean, all hail the Rhino chassis. May it live forever.
Yeah, it looks cool. I'm just looking at chat. Imperial House is already shipping the Raven House Imperial Knight will probably be out next year. Okay. Do we know if we are gonna get the Raven House Imperial Knight, or is it just kind of dependent on I would assume the Imperial Knight sold really well.
Knight
I would
Codex is about to come out too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we're gonna see a lot of attention for that. But anyway, so that is the deal. I'm gonna be ordering two. Are you guys in chat gonna grab them, or are you guys watching this on the replay gonna get it? Let me know. All right, so we're gonna jump over now to Cool Toys Club. Again, they have the same thing. They got theirs up for pre-sale as well. You can go pre-sale. You can pre-sale or pre-buy it from them as well. They have the free shipping, or they charge. It's the same thing. Like it's just the same thing with the with the official JOYTOY website, where they're charging you the tariff for the shipping charge, right? So essentially, it's the same thing. Like we're gonna see the same price, maybe a little bit cheaper from Cool Toys Club. We have an affiliate link for Cool Toys Club, so if you're gonna order from there, guys, click it. All right. The other thing is Cool Toys Club. They used to have well, they still do. They have custom pieces tab on their website. They had to move it off because there were some issues with the whatever, them selling the official stuff and then them selling third party stuff, right? They couldn't do it on the same website, so they created their own website for just custom items. This is called WOG Toys. I'll throw this in the chat. We went over this last week as well. And so again here, excuse me, jeez. They have custom pieces which are already all painted up and they fit perfectly on heads, fit on neck pegs, backpack fit on the back pegs. Like everything is awesome here. We went over this. There hasn't been anything new from last week. I will say I ordered I put my order and I grabbed another of the or one of the banners. Here is the Sanguinius helm that I did not order. This is the new one we were talking about the other night on our unboxing of Valdor. This is the one that has the hair on the mold. Now, the one I have does not have the hair, and it also the one I have also was shown in some artwork, and that's where I believe that they got it from. Some unofficial, I think it's, yeah, it's unofficial artwork. So, but this looks cool. Again, nothing really new. Some of the things I put in order for this week is I grabbed another Abaddon head, I grabbed the banner, I grabbed a Blood Angels chainsword, and I grabbed a helm for Rowlerdon. So, 'cause he comes with nothing. So, Blood Angels Rowlerdon from the 30K line, I picked him up and so on. Oh, and then this we did. Let me go back to full screen really quick. This way you can see a little better. Again, we did Valdor last night. He looks really cool, dude. The only thing that I'll notice with these figures, especially as we're getting into some of the later ones, I have the original Custodes 40K figures that came out about 3 years ago. And by the way, is this called, what is this called? Is this called a glaive bolter? What is this that they use?
Oh, those are called well, so he's obviously heresy, so there might be a different name. I'm not up
Correct.
to date on my heresy, but
Yep.
the spears are called guardian spears in at
Guardian
least
Spirit.
what I
Okay.
know.
His is a true spear of truth. Apparently it's made
Yes,
specifically.
I'm sure his is named because he's Valdor and everything he has is named and cool. But like
Yes,
the regular
exactly.
custodian guard spears are called just guardian spears.
Oh, I got it. Let me update the let me update that. Someone was asking for the Cool Toys Club one. Just talk. As I'm trying to find this.
Well, so I will say, I mean, if we're eventually going over to the Dallas Open stuff, the event itself was awesome. If I mean, it was almost like a con. Like I know people could buy tickets just to go and hang out and stuff like that. There were other tournaments. There was like a narrative event. That was run
Oh, that's
by
cool.
that was super. Yeah, it was super cool. There were some really big, beautiful narrative like terrain boards, and there were cosplayers for each of the heads of the faction. So there was like a Sister of Battle that was running the Imperium faction. There was a corrupt guardsman that was running the Chaos faction. There was an Eldar Wayseer, like or Warlock, that was running the
Oh, wow.
Xenos faction. They're all cosplayed amazing.
That's start. So
Um,
so if I walked in there with my interceptor armor, that would have been right, and I would have been right on board, right?
100%. Yeah, there
Oh
was Kill
God,
Team, there was Age of Sigmar. You were
that's
talking about
awesome.
making a diorama with your JOYTOY
Yep.
Blood Angels and stuff. There was a like interactive game, like Space Hulk game, with the big Gene Stealer JOYTOYs and the um, Deathwing Terminators JOYTOY figures, where you got to roll dice
Oh,
and do like a Space Hulk kind of thing.
that's
And I think it
cool.
was the highest, the most amount of Gene Stealer kills from the weekend won a prize or something like that.
That's cool. I want to quickly call out Model Misfit. What's going on, dude? That sounds so awesome, dude. That sounds really cool. By the way, guys, hit the like and subscribe button if you like this content so I know. One really quick thing. So I put the Cool Toys updated affiliate link. Let me know if that makes if that is working. You the other thing before we jump over to your stuff, I want to talk really quickly about is the Horus Heresy trailer. You
Oh
obviously
yeah, I
saw
mean
that.
that I so I saw so the venue was incredible. It was at the Esports Arena in Arlington, not
Oh, that's
directly in
cool.
Dallas. So it was like amazing. Like first off, the air conditioning was incredible. But then like there were screens, the stream table that were there, all the top players were playing. There were like big, like two giant, like long flat screens that were up, and one of them was a live stream of the game itself, but then the other one was like a like animated almost like a like updating slideshow animation of like the terrain and then what units were where on the board and stuff like that.
Oh,
It was
wow.
it was incredible, insane.
Wow.
And then they dropped the Horus Heresy trailer there, and they actually had a big Horus Heresy diorama out. And after they
Oh,
dropped the
wow.
trailer, they had the new models, the Saturnine models, out in the middle of the diorama,
Oh
already
my
made and
god,
painted.
dude. So they what did they have? Did they have them as
They
the
had they
salamanders?
had them painted exactly like they are on the box in the trailer, like that. They had, I think they
Oh
had
my
Golden
god.
Demon winning painters there painting the whole weekend as well.
Holy crap, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I
it
gotta
was
do?
incredible.
When is the next big Warhammer tournament event? You said
Well, I
the
mean, it
10th.
depends. Yeah, the next one is in the next like Games Workshop Open. That's like in this line is in like I guess 2 weeks. Excuse
Okay.
me, in 2 weeks now in Edmonton.
Is there one coming to the East Coast in New York City
So I
anytime
know
soon?
that the World Championships of Warhammer, which actually the winner of this got a golden ticket to, like he gets his flights paid and stuff like that. Um, that is in Atlanta, Georgia this year.
When is it? When is it? Is it the summer?
Let me see to the internet. Uh,
Do you know if Games Workshop goes to like any of the Comic Cons or anything like that?
they might have a booth. Warhammer Open World Championships. That's what I want to look at.
Dude, these Saturn. Oh my god, dude, these things look amazing. Look at the art on that. It looks so amazing. Somebody
Yeah.
commented that they didn't like the trailer because they said that the AI art was like making it too smooth and that the I'm like whatever, dude, this looks like eye candy
Here
to
it
me,
is.
dude.
It's in November. Atlanta, Georgia, November 6th through the 9th is the World Championships this year.
Oh, that's amazing, dude. If I can, let me think. Man, now I got, oh man, is there anyone next year? Is there anyone that's in New York in the New York
I
area,
don't
do you
know
know?
if they have released next
Okay,
year's
okay. So
schedule yet.
November, when in November is it? When is the World
The
Championships?
6th through the 9th. It's the
God
very
damn
first
it.
week.
I have to keep that. I'm gonna see if I can do something with that. I'm supposed to go to another con during the time Legion's con, so we'll see. But this dude, I wish so the miniature so here's the crux. Like here's how it copies or it goes into um JOYTOY figures. They just announced, like I showed before, which I think is still open, the Iron Warriors Terminators, right? So they showed they came out with the Horse Heresy Iron Warriors. They also came out with the MK3 version of the armor. So they just dropped that trailer. They have not come out with the salamanders yet, right? So they have to come out with the salamanders, and I would assume if they're following like they did when they first came out, that they're going to do the same thing. Like we're going to get, like for instance, when we got the trailer, I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago for the Horus Heresy, we got the Sons of Horus and we got the Imperial Fists, right? And we got those two Joy Toy figures, and we got the just it mimicking what the trailer was. So here we go. We got Iron Warriors, and we gotta get salamanders, dude. And I want to see these Saturn Terminators and the Siege. So the Siege Dreadnought. So this look absolutely amazing. I could just imagine what these would look like in Joy Toy form because they have. Here's my Siege Terminator from the Siege Dreadnought, rather from the Sons of Horus line. So this thing is massive. And I can imagine the Saturn are going to be even bigger. So I would assume that that's what we're going to see next. So hopefully we get salamanders and we get these Saturn Terminators or the Terminators and the Siege. Dude, I just want the Siege, dude. So what was it like seeing the models in person? Were they cool?
So they had like Golden Demon painters painting all weekend. So they were immaculate. They had a couple dioramas. They had a big like infantry based one that had, and then once they did the trailer, that's where they put the Saturnine models in the middle of it.
Oh, wow.
Um, because it was already set up, but there's a big hole in the middle, and then they dropped the trailer, and I came out for lunch, and I don't know when they did it, but I came out for lunch, and they had put all like the Dreadnought and the
Oh my
Terminators and
god.
the giant Captain and Terminator in the Saturnine armor, right? They had them in the middle of the diorama, and then there was a big Titan one. There was a big Warlord Titan, a couple of little Warhound Titans, and then little knights and stuff running around through their feet, and it was really cool too.
Oh my god, dude. Dude, that trailer was awesome. I'm really
Yeah.
so it's the third version of the tabletop Horse Heresy. Does anybody play Horse Heresy?
I mean, I know that it's decently popular. There's always a couple people at different couple tables in my local store that play. I don't know if it's as like I don't think it's as widely. I don't know if it's as like finely tuned for like I don't know competitive play as like 40K is. I think
Sure.
Heresies might be a little bit more narrative fluffy rules, and I know the
Sure.
rules can get a little wonky in Heresy.
Yep. I feel like, and they're coming out with the third version or the third edition of it, and they're revamping some things, is what I've heard. Again, I don't play it, so But anyway, so that is the news for the Horse Heresy. But before we jump over to you, we have one more thing to talk about, which is the Armageddon Crusade. So we got this coming out.
We're back, boys.
We got this coming out this week. This is awesome. Has so much. No, I don't want Chance to win $250. Stop it. This is awesome, dude. I already called it's the Warhammer store by me officially. There's one in New York City, but there's no way I'm going there. But there's one in Connecticut, which is like 38 miles away from me. Called the store. They have this. I'm not going to go to that store for this one. I'll order this and I'll send you one also. But I am going to go to their store when they have the Codex come out. When do you think we're going to get the Grey Knights Codex? When do you think that will release? What month?
So Thousand Suns Codex like is about to come out. Like it hasn't come out yet. I don't think like people have it, but it's about to come out like in the next week or so. And then it's Imperial Knights after that. And then I think actual and Chaos Knights, I think they come out together. So I'm guessing we don't see Grey Knights till because we're in June already, or about in June now. I'm guessing we don't see them till late July, August-ish.
That's awesome.
My guess.
That's fine by me. The later this, because my Interceptor armor is coming, so I want to have it, and I want to be a complete goof and go to the store, the official Warhammer store, and pick up my Grey Knights Codex. Wearing that, so that should be hysterical. But we got this coming out, the Crusade for Armageddon, which is awesome. I already listened to Ian the Arbiter on YouTube. Awesome lore guy. He like gave me the entire lore breakdown for this, but I want to read it myself, so I'm really interested in getting this. And we'll do a video. We'll do a live stream with this when it comes out. And
I'll definitely play some games. I have some buddies that are World Eaters and Corn Demon players, so we'll definitely play some of the scenarios out, and I'll take some pictures.
Yeah, you definitely have to. Now, so my understanding is you can play. Is there like multiple armies on this? Is that how it works? Because this is a narrative campaign.
Yeah, I think it gives you like scenarios and different like some different like deployment zones, different like twists and missions for each player and stuff like that.
Interesting. Very cool. Have you heard? We're going to go really quickly into the rumor mill. Have you heard that there might be a possible new Kaldor Dragor? There's something.
I saw the back of the shield from that little.
Is that a shield?
Rumor. It looks like the bottom of a shield. I don't know. The
because it's a triangle looking.
So weird too. Because like, right? Think about like things that we saw from the rumor engine that have now come out. So like the little drill piece that was on the big new giant Chaos Knight. Like I wouldn't have. People were saying like, oh, it's gonna be a new Centurion or something like that, and it turned into a giant Chaos Knight.
Oh, I get it. All right, so
it's really hard to guess because like that could be like zoomed in on like a tilt shield of a guy on a horse or something.
Cyber just made a really good comment. He said, Wraith, you should make one of those tomes with straps to carry on your cosplay, and inside is the new Grey Knight Codex. That would be cool. I got it. You know what I want to do? I want to do something like that. I definitely want to do something like that when I go to Comic-Con for the special edition of the Grey Knights version. Or I also have the role play books for the Inquisition, which has the Ordo Malleus and the Xenos and stuff like that. So there's supposed to be a special book for the Grey Knight. So again, that'll be something that's coming in the summer, and we'll discuss that when it comes out from a lore perspective. So, but yeah, so we should be seeing this next week. And either what we'll do, I think what we'll do, Mike, is we'll talk about doing a special stream when we both have this book in hand, and we'll do a quick like half-hour stream and we'll go through the book. Is that cool?
Yeah, totally.
Cool, perfect. That'll be something separate outside of this Sunday thing that we do. So,
Yeah.
weren't Black Templars on the rumor engine? Do you remember?
I saw the picture in Reddit on the Grey Knights Reddit about the shield.
That's what I saw. Yeah.
I don't keep up a ton with the actual rumor.
Yeah, sorry, Zugbog84. Again, it's I know about it because of the Facebook group for Grey Knights. They're like, is this Cal Dragor? They show Cal Dragor sold out now. Like, and everybody's like, oh, I'm not sure. I don't think so. And then obviously the people come in. They're like, no, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been sold out for months on the store.
So it's not something new. It's not something new. So, all right. Well, that is our news so far for the week. We're going to jump over now to Mr. Michael Farley is going to update us on the entire tournament that he went to. So, Mike, do you see the screen I'm sharing with you?
Yeah, my guys are on fire. They look sweet.
So this is the tournament that Mike went to last week for Dallas. And oh, actually, this is not the one. Let me just jump. Oh no, this is it. Yeah, it's supposed to be continuously playing, but I'm gonna have to press the button. God damn it. Anyway, so this is your army that you ran, right? This is you.
Yeah, that's I had to figure out because I'd never flown with my models before, so that was actually a big hump to figure out was how to get them all there safely. Because before I had manually taken a big tub and put like hobby sheet metal down at the bottom of it, and then put magnets on the bottom of my guys. And when you're just driving around a few hours, or even 7 or 8 hours, like to like Georgia or stuff like that, Tennessee to play, it's totally fine. Sits in the back seat, nice and snug, but on a plane for carry on, like I'm not going to put under the plane. So I ended up buying, I did some research, and pretty much all signs pointed to these Jinoki cases being pretty good.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, actually, is this the first time you used this?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, no, I bought it for this event, and I mean, now it's what I will be using all the time.
Very cool. So how much was this?
So the case itself, because it's actually got like if you see it's got little pockets and stuff, that part is like a backpack and is sold separately. So just the case itself, I think was 120, maybe 140 on Amazon. And then the backpack and the backpack part that it like sits into, that has all the pockets, I think was like another like $35-$40.
Okay, so it's close to $180-$200 for the whole setup.
And then the case itself is like pretty solid plastic, and you build it together, it screws together.
I get it.
And then it comes with like I think it comes with 6 or 7 of the little metal trays that go into it, that slide into it. And so it lets you kind of organize it how you want with how different sizes of guys you have. And then it's actually, you can kind of see it even in the picture. It's got a little LED light strip that goes up and down the sides. So it lights up. It's got a clear front case, so you can click it and it lights up, and all your guys are displayed really nicely in there.
That's cool. Now, you're saying they're metal trays. So how does your models not move around?
So I have magnetized them all with multiple little tiny magnets. I got them all right here. Just stick them on the bottom, and I got those off Amazon too. 2 of them worked pretty well for my little power armored guys. I'd used about
What
5 to 6.
NDKs?
Yeah, about 5 to 6 on the
5 to 6.
NDKs.
Okay.
And then the Razorbacks and Rhinos that are in there, I actually had a buddy of mine drill into the bottom of the treads with a small drill bit, and then put resin like epoxy and magnets into the bottom of the
Oh,
treads.
that's cool.
So there's 4 magnets in the corner of every Rhino and Razorback, all their
Very
treads.
cool.
So they magnetize, and you can flip them upside down. I wouldn't say you shake them, but you give them a little shake, they're not going to fall, which is all I was really looking for. They need to be able to survive on their side and through turbulence. So
Very cool, dude. Your NDK in the front there looks so cool.
yeah, I was a little worried about that one because that one is a fully 3D printed model.
Sure.
So this is a full Games Workshop official event.
How did that work?
I had it cleared with one of the judges before, and so it was totally fine. It has the right weapon loadouts, it's on the right base size, and its model is, as you can see, is the other official Dread Knight next to it, the exact same silhouette of it. So
Sure.
no hassle at all.
Wow, very cool. So you ran, is that 5 Dread Knights that are there?
Yeah, so my list I ended up taking was a little bit different list than what I saw around. 5 Dread Knights was pretty common, but the transports were definitely where I kind of deviated.
Hold on. Why is there a pink transport in there?
So in my
My daughter saw that, was like, she's like 3 years old. She's like, oh, I love it.
In my scrounging to find Razorbacks or Rhino chassis for my list, I had a buddy that was working on his Emperor's Children paint scheme, and he let me borrow his Razorback. So I have a sneaky Emperor's Children Razorback in there.
That's hysterical.
But it's a very conflicted Razorback because the gunner that sits outside of it, he painted as a Black Templar. So it's a very conflicted Razorback.
Awesome. So now, did you paint all these models yourself?
Everything else here, yeah, I painted myself.
That's awesome, dude. I will say I have a fully, like, you've seen my Grey Knight's army before. Totally did not paint a single one, and I am very proud to say that, because if I did, they would look like a 3-year-old did them. Actually, probably worse. So this is awesome. So this is your this is what you ran. So how many Terminators did you run?
0. Big
Oh,
0. Really? Yeah, I ran. So it was 5 Dread Knights, 2 Grandmaster Dread Knights. Those are the one dead center at the bottom there, and then to the left of him, those are my 2 Grandmasters. The other 3 Dread Knights were just regular Dread Knights. Then I had a single unit of 5 Strike Marines. Those are the start of them is the farthest right little small squad.
I get it.
Then those 2
What kind
in
of
the
weapons
middle,
did you have with them?
just swords and storm bolters, no special weapons, just the regular kit and caboodle.
Okay.
I found that having a single psi cannon in the squad just kind of wastes my time rolling it, to be fully honest.
So question for you, you use the strike squad members. Why don't you use the interceptors?
So and right next to them are 2 units of 5.
I see the prongs. Okay.
And then right next to them, the 2 squad on the farthest left, the 2 squads to the farthest left, those are 2 units of 5 purifiers. And those I actually ended up putting, because they can take 2 special weapons each, I did put flamers in both of them.
Okay, cool.
But the Inceptors and the 2 Inceptors and the 1 strike squad are all just swords and bolters.
I got it. Okay, cool.
And then the extra bits are 3 Razorbacks and a Rhino, and that's everything.
I get it. The one thing that JOYTOY has to come out with, I'm going to go to JOYTOY for a second here. The Grey Knight figures, so they came out with interceptors. They only came with like power swords and stuff like that. They did not come with any, I'm sorry, Nemesis Force power swords. They did not come in with any falchions. So they have to come out with falchions so I can have a goddamn dual-wielding interceptor. Goddamn it!
I'm really partial to the halberds. I think halberds.
Do you like the halberds?
Yeah, that was one of the big things I start. I and the hammers. The halberds and the hammers are big, but I do say I'm a sword enthusiast. I have swords tattooed all over me. So
that's historical. Yeah, I'm a huge. I prefer, especially from the Cascade Demon Hunters game, I prefer the falchions. All right, cool.
Yeah, falchions are sweet. So a little bit different, but that is what I was running. The transport spam again.
So we're gonna jump into, I think let me go here. See if I got this correct.
And just the kind of the idea behind that is Grey Knights, as I've said before, have kind of a difficulty. Uh, they don't. They want to be able to force your opponent into engagements they don't want to do. So then you
Sure.
can choose where you want to engage with them. And so a lot of times, like your opponent, if you don't have a way to force them into bad engagements, will just can just screen you out or decide to not engage with your army and make you go to them and put yourself in really bad situations, or forcing you to like just bank your game plans on 9-inch charges out of Deep Strike, which are not reliable at all. So the Razorbacks allow you to keep your guys safe inside transports. They let you do weird movement shenanigans with the Inceptors. And then also when people aren't inside of it, they're the cheapest thing you can bring that aren't servitors that just go and sit on objectives that force your opponent to come to you.
That's interesting.
And that's really kind of just the general gist of why I'm running that many transports.
I get it. Now we're starting to get into some of the armies. So like I said before, what I want to quickly do for time, because we can sit here and talk all day, is we're gonna go through these pictures. We're gonna highlight the match that you had the most fun with and the match that was the most difficult. Right. So as we go through these pictures, if they're not it, we'll just quickly cover like the person and the match, like how it went really quickly. So is this one of your favorite matches or no?
Game one I was super nervous. I was very nervous. I hadn't played in an event this big before. So I had a blast. The guy's army was gorgeous. I would say probably not my favorite game, but a lot of fun. Really nice guy. And it was honestly a really good game just to ease into the event. Because again,
Awesome.
I had played in some big tournaments, but nothing to this size or scale of this competitive level. So
sure.
It was nice to ease into it with a really friendly guy.
Very cool. Now, did you win the match?
I did. I won my first game, which was again a really big confidence builder right out of the gate. He was running.
Look awesome.
Yes, he was running Crusher Stampede. So that is really focused on big bugs. He's got the big Tyrannofexes with cannons, 2 big Norn emissaries that were really nasty. Just a lot. Old One Eye was in there causing havoc. I will say one thing to note in these pictures that you can't really see just because of because they're clear, but all of the terrain is on top of clear plastic templates, like I was talking about. So sometimes it might look like, oh, why is that guy standing kind of in a weird corner that looks out in the open? But there might actually be a clear corner that is keeping him like kind of obscure.
Line of sight. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So just keep in mind, like where the terrain is, there's usually like rectangular templates that they're on.
Oh, I see. I can see okay, I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah, you can kind of vaguely see the outlines of them.
Sure. So they're all sitting on clear acrylic plastic. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. That makes sense. So they're all clear. Cool. Very cool. So this
honestly, yeah, just on the quick summary of this one, just like one big moment started right at the beginning. He kind of had a misplay. He didn't realize that one of his Norn emissaries, they're really nasty because they, at the beginning of the game, they can either choose a single target or they can choose a single objective. And they usually pretty much always choose a single objective. And when the Norn emissaries on their chosen objective, they get a 5-up Feel No Pain against all damage, and they become OC 15.
Now, which one of these models is the emissary?
Those are the 2 in the top right corner behind the weird round-looking bugs.
I get it. Okay.
They're standing upright.
They're
basically the 2 big bugs standing upright.
I got it. Okay.
So when they get onto an objective, they're incredibly hard to take off of it. But when they're not on the objective, they can be they're easier to kill. They're a lot easier to kill. So he misplayed and deployed one of them inside the terrain. But because they're so tall, because he's in the terrain, it means I could see him. And so I was able to shift all of my focus over there and very early, turn 1, kill one of his Norns before it could get anywhere close to the objective it wanted to get onto. And that basically immediately collapsed a flank. And it was pretty hard to recover. And we were playing a mission where the objective markers on turn 3, one of the objective markers in no man's land would leave, and then on turn 4, another one would leave. So by the end of turn 5, there would only be one objective marker in no man's land that's worth 15 points. So that was the objective marker that the Norn that was exposed was going to try and get to. So killing it turn 1, I then just made a bubble around it, let him take one side, the middle disappeared turn 3, and he didn't have enough movement or bugs left to get over to the one side. So that was... I hadn't fought against a lot of Tyranids before, so it was really interesting to see gun profiles into their stats, and some of those... The big bug, like in that picture that's on the screen right now, the big bug that's up in the top left, the Tyrannifex there, it has a 2-shot gun that is D6 plus 6 damage.
Oh, damn.
If both go through, it almost guarantees kills a Dread Knight. If one goes through, if he rolls a 6, the Dread Knight, if it's on full health, it lives on 1 health.
Oh, crap.
They are not... It's only 2 shots, though, so with a 4-up invuln, and they're only hitting on 3s, so it's not super reliable. So that was a big thing in my favor, is they don't reliably kill Dread Knights because they're only 2 shots.
I get it. Now, so remind me again, so how you're running 5 Dread Knights?
Yeah.
And how many transports?
4. 3 Razorbacks, so those have las cannons on top, and then a Rhino that has storm bolters.
I got it. Okay, cool. Wow. Okay, cool. So you wound up winning this fight. Awesome. You gave him a patch,
this was a really close... This was a really close game. It was 72-65. Oh, wow. Yeah, that was close. Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. All right, cool. So congratulations, Tyranid player. You had a good game. All right, so we're going to the next one. If I can
I would say this is probably my worst loss of the tournament. It's not my worst game, but it was... it didn't hurt the worst. Like this one, he beat me the worst. Like, it was over the fastest.
Is this Chaos Knights?
This is the brand new World Eaters.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And they are nasty.
Is that Angra? Who is...
No,
is that Greater
that
Demon?
is Scarbrand.
Oh, interesting.
So this is the brand new demon detachment inside the World Eaters.
Oh, interesting.
World Eaters book. And this was a funny game because this was I won my first game, and so after you win your first game, you get paired into another person that is of the same record of you. So going into game 2, there's over 100 other people that are also 1-0, and I went with 4 other guys from my team here in Florida. And game 2, I got paired into one of them, my friend.
Oh, God.
My good buddy Bryce, and we had literally played identical lists into each other the weekend before at an RTT in Florida to practice. He beat me pretty much as bad, and so we saw that we got each other's name on the list. We pulled up to the table and we just kind of shook our head, and I made a pretty big misplay. I mean, and the game was over so fast. I took one picture of it. I was dazed. Wow. It was one of those things that, like, he almost like in a fight, right? He hits you so fast, so hard that you like don't even know what happened.
Wow. What's up with whose objective markers are they?
So those are mine, but those are actually our teams. So that's our that's our team logo. Those are different members of our team. Those are different teammates of mine that are...
So is any of them the one you played in this match?
None of them are who I played. No, those are all some of our buddies from back home. But more importantly, those are all selfies of them pooping on the toilet.
Oh, great job. Good job. Super important information. Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we have fun. Cool. Like we like to have fun. But I made a big misplay too. He tempted me in his deployment with leaving one of his Forge Fiends that's kind of huddled over by Scarbrand, kind of towing out so I could get a line of sight on him. Mm-hmm. And I immediately took the bait, killed the Forge Fiend, and then in response, he picked up almost half my army in turn 2.
Oh, wow.
Holy
crap.
Yeah, yes.
Jeez, okay. Well, did you give him a patch?
I told him he would have to wait because he will see me at every other tournament here.
Very good. Look at Mike knowing the deal. All right, cool. So this was a loss. What is
This was
this
a
one I'm not
bad
looking?
loss. This was a loss where I looked at him, he looked at me, and I said, "You get 100. I think I might score 40." And he went, "Yeah, okay." And so it was 100-40 loss,
Oh
which is
wow.
yeah,
Jeez.
real. And that's probably him being generous on giving me 40 points.
I get it. So now this picture, is this your armies or somebody else's?
This is not this. So my third game of day one was against the Grey Knight mirror
Whoa.
match.
Oh wow, cool. So I know from playing Street Fighter, anytime that there's a mirror match, there's a lot of, how do I say, there's a there's a need to want to win that, right? So
Yeah,
is it the same sort of thing when you're fighting a mirror match for Grey Knights or for in this?
100%,
I was
100%.
just say, okay, all right. So
Um,
this is the Grey Knight you fought. So what
yes.
was he run? I see Garen Crow.
Yeah,
Um
so he was running a very different list to me.
are those
Um,
sisters?
yeah, he was running a squad of sisters with multi-meltas and an immolator, and the sisters also had an inquisitor attached
Interesting.
to it. That's the little
Okay,
lady
that's
there
why they
with
could use them.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
plumed hat.
I get it.
Um, his army was gorgeous. His name was actually Richard.
Oh, awesome.
He
His
very
tournaments look
interestingly,
amazing.
he was the winner of the highest ranked Grey Knight ITC for hobby points. So
Oh,
he won enough best painted awards at large events with his Grey Knights that he won the ITC season, the Grey Knight ITC season for hobby.
wow. These look
So
amazing.
so
What's
his
his
army was
name?
gorgeous. His name was Richard. I don't remember his last name.
Richard.
Actually,
If you ever watch this, you're
one of the pictures I sent that's in here is his
sure.
army on a diorama that has his name in front of it.
Oh,
It
I
has
think
his
I
last name.
perfect. All
So
right,
that
cool.
is
We'll
his
get.
army on the diorama. It was incredible. That diorama was
I
also
think I made
incredible.
that. I think I made that transparent background too. I think that looks so cool, dude. Richard, these look amazing, dude.
Yeah. Yes.
Amazing, awesome.
In yeah,
And
there's
there's
like a
Garen
close shot of
Crow.
his crow.
Yep.
Awesome OSL. So he was and a lot of his strike marines
Tech
and
Marine. Yep.
purifiers were the original like pewter sculpts
Oh
with like
wow.
the weapons
I have a
and
couple of the pewter models. Yeah.
the little old modeled falchions and
Yep.
stuff. So like amazing army.
Very cool. Let me ask you a quick question for Tech Marine. Did he have 3D printed server tours? Did he run server tours? Do you remember?
He did not. He just ran it by himself with one of the Warp Bane enhancements with
Interesting.
a unit of five or maybe 10 Strike Marines. I think it was five.
Very cool. Very cool. These are
So
awesome.
it was a very different list than mine. He had a Rhino, he had an Immolator, a Sisters Immolator with a squad of Sisters.
There's
He had
the
Crow
pig
with a big,
rhino.
yeah, it hides around. He had Crow with like a big squad of 10 Purifiers. He had a single regular Dread Knight and one Grandmaster Dread Knight.
Oh, awesome.
Um, uh, and this was a really weird game. Oh, and honestly, the big thing, something I can't forget about, is he was running 3 solo librarians.
Oh,
As
what
he
was the
named
strategy
them,
behind that?
he called them his casino cannon
Oh, okay, okay.
because they do the Vortex of Doom thing.
I get it. It's a one
And
shot or one shot.
that
I get
is
it.
literally the name of this game. So he looked at we were talking about our lists. He even said right out of the gate, he's like, my list is not an optimized competitive list. I'm running
Sure.
weird stuff. He's like, and he was really confused about why I was running all of the transports, and I was like, just watch, just watch.
I get it. Okay.
And I was in full control of this game for the first 3 turns. I was in the driver's seat. I had a solid lead. This was a mission called the Ritual. So there, specifically, there's only objective markers in your deployment zone, your opponent's deployment zone, and then the center of the battlefield.
Okay.
And then it's on you to spawn the rest of the objective markers in no man's land. They just have to be 12 inches away from the objective in no man's land that you're choosing to spawn it from. So you can kind of string them out. And
Okay.
so I had a lot more board presence, and with my Razorbacks and Rhinos, I was able to have things empty or not and push them up, spawn objectives, and force him to come and try and fight Razorbacks and Rhinos with Strike Marines, which is
okay.
not a super, like, they don't really kill that on average all the time.
Sure.
And then my guys in my next turn can just hop out and charge the guys that are right in front of them. So it was happening like that. I was spawning all of the objectives. I was on all of them. I was scoring a ton of primary. I was trading really well into his army. Like I was saying, he was having to fight Razorbacks and Rhinos, and then I was able to get out and then immediately kill the other guys. Because, funny enough, Grey Knight force weapons into Grey Knight power armor is pretty effective, actually.
Oh, is it?
So the AP2 means they always have, you're just rolling 4-ups, but it's damage 2, so it means that every failed one is just a dead Marine. So I mean, and you're wounding on 3s, so like it's pretty good. I will say though, the Stormbolter fire into each other, we might as well not have been rolling that at all. That is just shooting marshmallows across the table at each other. Honestly, so a couple of big things happened. Turn 1, I gave him a little bit of space in my back line, and he took it, and he put Crow and 10 Purifiers into it, and tried to kill a Dread Knight. Didn't. It lived, and then I was basically able to clean up Crow and his brick entirely for free. And then I was like, I'm in the driver's seat. Awesome. And so, like I said, the game kind of progressed like that. I was spawning objectives, holding them, killing him really well. And then, turn 3, he drops all 3 of his librarians and the Tech Marine with 5 Strike Marines into the tiny little corner I had given him between the pink Razorback and the Grandmaster Dread Knight up there in that top right corner.
Okay.
And then he was like, okay, let's go gambling. And on his first 3 activate, because he has 3 librarians, so each one can do Vortex of Doom. On his first 3 activations, he rolled 2 6s, and both of them were over 10 damage each, and immediately killed the Dread Knight.
Oh wow!
From full to dead. Yeah, so you can see he put them all up in that tiny little corner up in the top right. I then, because it immediately lost, that was he killed the good-looking Dread Knight there. And then charged onto it with the Tech Marine and the Strike Marines, flipping that top objective.
Wow.
I didn't have a ton of stuff. I started to try to converge onto it. He made a decent amount of saves, and I actually whiffed in melee with a Dread Knight into one of his librarians, and it lived on 1 wound. So then he was able then turn 4 to activate all 3 of them again. And so now he's activated them 6 times, and he rolled another 2 6s. So he's rolled 6 Vortex of Dooms. He's rolled 4 6s, which is now 2d6 damage instead of 2d3. And so literally on gambling, and he looked at me and was like, I have no idea what's happening right now. On just his casino cannon, basically with 500 points left of his army, he effectively tabled me. And because he was Grey Knight and he was going second, he was able to reposition everything at the very end of the game and score bottom of turn and flip the game, and he won 72-65.
Wow, that was close as hell. Holy crap.
Just the amount of damage he did with
with those 3 librarians, Casino Royale.
I've done that to people before, not to that level of rolling 6s, but I've done like, oh, here's a Vortex of Doom, oh, that's a 6. Here's another one, oh, that's a 6, and killed a bunch of stuff. But the fact that he did it multiple turns in a row and my entire army just evaporated in front of me was incredible. And it definitely is. It was probably, I was bummed that I had lost the game before, because that means as soon as you lose a game, it immediately takes you out of any kind of running to win. I didn't think I was going to, but as soon as you lose it, it guarantees it.
Yeah.
So I was bummed to lose, and I was kind of bummed to lose to my teammate. But it, like you said, playing that mirror, right? I was like, I wanted to show him what I could do. I really wanted to show him the Razorbacks and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm doing it. I'm in control. Like, this is awesome. And then just
shotgun.
Yes, it's Vortex of Doom.
That's hysterical. Oh my god.
But Richard was an awesome guy. His army was gorgeous. There's other pictures of it we'll get to.
Sure, that's awesome. And he got a patch, right?
Yes, yeah. Everyone other than my teammate got one.
So what are we looking at? Yeah, I already know these are the Emperor's Children, right?
So that last Grey Knight game was end of day 1. I ended day 1, 1 and 2.
Sure.
And I was feeling a little discouraged. I was like, I feel like I had that last game in the bag. Losing the first one sucked. Losing that last one, the 2 in the row, end of day 1.
Sure.
So going into the third one, I'm a little tentative. But one of the nice things about these tournaments is you always are playing someone of the same skill level. So
Okay.
going into this, it means I was guaranteed to play someone that had lost their first game or won their first game and then lost their other 2 games and was
So the
also
one.
1 and 2.
Sure.
So this was the Emperor's Children army. Um,
Clear giveaway.
I want to say this was probably this might have been my favorite game.
Oh, cool.
But I will say the Ultramarine game at the very end of the tournament was also very fun.
Mm,
The Grey Knight army, like I said, won a bunch of best hobbying awards, but I think
sure.
this was my favorite painted army. Like his scheme was
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
Like you saw his rainbow rhinos and
Yeah,
all of his
that's
different
impressive.
guys, like all of his noise marines there, all of his infractors and tormentors were painted different because he told me his head canon was every guy thinks that they are the best painter or the best, and so they paint all of their armor differently. So each guy is like
Uh,
different, has different like bits. He has 30k bits in there, like kit bashed and stuff. They're painted differently because they all paint their armor different colors. So he's got different demon princes. It
that's
was a really
hysterical.
really fun put together army.
That's awesome. This, dude, this looks crazy. The rainbow color on the Razorbacks looks awesome. So
Um,
here's the game.
yeah, so he was running triple demon prince with wings. Very nasty. They do a pseudo tank shock when they do charges, but it's based off the number of wounds that they have. So tank shock is a stratagem. When you do a charge with a monster or vehicle,
Sure.
um, you roll the number of dice equal to your toughness. So in Dread Knight terms, you roll 8 dice, and for every 5 up, you do a single mortal wound to a max of 6. These
Mm.
guys have a data sheet ability that say when they do a charge, for each point of health that they have, so they start with 8 health, they roll a dice, they roll a d6, and on a 4 up, they do a mortal wound. So they potentially can just crash into things and do a lot of damage before they've even swung.
Oh, wow.
Emperor's Children are also incredibly fast. Their entire army can advance, shoot, and charge all the time. The only caveat is something that advanced 2 things that advance can't shoot the same target, and 2 things that advance can't charge the same target. It's like a kind of a competition thing in the army. He has Lucius the Internal in there, and then he had honestly the big pillar of the army was 18 Noise Marines, 3 units of 6.
That's hysterical. So now, how did the so this being, I guess this is your you were saying this is your favorite one, right? So what what was the game like as far as fighting against the Emperor's Children?
So Emperor's Children, I think, are actually a pretty good matchup for Grey Knights. While they're very fast, all of their stuff that they want standing on objectives is just regular power armored marine bodies. So a 3
Okay,
up save, T4, 2 wounds. Um, yeah, I would say they're not super tough. They are a very glass cannon army.
sure,
Um, and so if you're able to keep them at a good arm's length and choose your engagements, which Grey Knights are able to do quite well, and also very specifically in the Emperor's Children matchup, Noise Marines have their big guns, the guns that you're really afraid of,
hmm,
um, are basically the exact same profile as a heavy psi cannon on a Dread Knight. The
oh,
only
really?
difference, yeah, strength 10, AP 2, flat 3 damage, ignoring cover. There's one big difference though. It's 18-inch range. So
Oh,
because the psi cannon is 24, so you're able to keep them at a little bit of an arm's length. They're able to
sure,
advance and shoot, so they're able to get the 18-inch range into range quite fast. But if you can move block them or keep yourself in kind of awkward positions,
sure,
um, they you can keep them at range, so they won't have good targets basically. And I've actually played this matchup a few times, so I knew how to play against it going into it. Um, and he hadn't played into Grey Knights a ton, and that is always a big advantage for me.
mm.
So he kind of made all of the, I don't want to say classic mistakes, but he started his, infractors that could infiltrate on objectives, but I was able to engage into them turn one and just immediately kill them, which then forces him to come to me again. And then with this specific list with all the transports, it's again, he trades really badly into it. So you can see, like in this picture, I have a Razorback that's just touching that objective in the center.
Yep.
So I'm holding it, but nothing's in it. All my guys are hiding behind it.
Behind it, yeah.
Yeah, and there's that clear piece of terrain. They're not actually on it, so they're actually hiding behind that piece of terrain. So the only way to actually get to them is to go all the way around either kill the Razorback and go through it, or go around the Razorback and shoot at them. And so it basically forced one of the demon princes and like a big brick of infractors with a character to charge into the Razorback, kill it, but now they're just kind of in the center,
Sure,
and I'm
they're
able
just standing
to
there.
converge onto it. Right. So
Interesting.
the Razorbacks and Rhinos are a big, really good trading piece into it because they're able to touch objectives, force the fast guys who move fast to me, kill my Razorbacks, and then I can just teleport to a different side and kind of kill things. And then same thing, Noise Marines are a really big glass cannon. They've got awesome guns. They're basically Psy cannon guns, but they're T5, 2-up or 3-up save, 2 wounds. They're just a slightly higher toughness tactical Marine. So they still just kind of die to bolters and stuff, incidental shooting.
Whose objectives were these?
These are my Grey Knight objectives.
All right, there you go.
At the Dallas Open.
Oh, you got these at the Dallas Open?
I did, yeah. So there was a store, there was a Games Workshop, like they built a store basically in the front of it, and they had a bunch of stuff. They had a thing where there was a swag box that everyone got for buying a ticket. There was a $10 gift card in there, so I got myself some objective mats. I got a navigator, the actual official navigator model, because I haven't been able to find that. So I actually finally picked that up.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Did they have any JOYTOY figures at the convention for sale?
I don't think so, actually. Okay. I think they had there was Forge World stuff, there was Horus Heresy stuff, there was Blood Bowl stuff, but I don't think I saw any action figures. They did have a thing though. If you spent $800, you got like not a custom, but you got like a special edition like game mat that like we're playing on.
Oh, interesting, cool.
Which was kind of cool.
So how did this game? Obviously, you already explained that they're very he hadn't played Grey Knights before. They're a very weird fight. So how did this turn out?
So I ended up winning. Let me see here. I ended up winning. I wouldn't say super handed. I won 73-45. So I didn't like run away with the score, but he wasn't able to score a lot because of the weird, right, forcing him to engage with me kind of thing.
Sure.
And the game, I think the final nail in the coffin was Lucius the Eternal, who is the little guy standing.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen him in
corner. He finally eventually had to pop out and just to even try to score. The game was already over, but he was like, I'm just going to see if I can kill this Dread Knight and score some like bring it down points or something like that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to Overwatch. And I killed Lucius in Overwatch. You only hit on 6s in Overwatch. And so I just shot my Psy cannon, got a couple through. He failed both the saves and just died. And he was like, oh, okay, that's the game. But honestly, the big game was up in the top objective at the top. He committed 12 of his 2 squads of Noise Marines that was in a Rhino to try and kill 2 Dread Knights, and he kind of split because it's 2 units of 6, and then inside the units there's only 2 guys that have the 3 damage guns. They each have 3 shots, and so he's split fire, kind of weird. And because of that, instead of just focus firing a Dread Knight and kind of
I was gonna say with all those units,
guarantee, right? Yeah, especially with my 4-up invuln, and they're only strength 10, so they're only wounding on 3s, which is still also it's good, but not super. It's not the best. And because I'm 13 wounds at full health, you need, if you're shooting at me with 6 of those shots, you need you need 4 of them to go through to kill me. or no, you need 5 of them to go through to kill me. So you basically have to commit both squads to do it, and he split shooting very weird, and then didn't kill either of them. And so I was able to then, I basically was able to, for free in this game, kill 2 demon princes
Oh wow.
and 12 noise marines and a unit of infractors for free.
Wow. So now,
And then you can see, yeah, this is kind of the final picture where his demon prince and guys killed the razorback that was in the middle, but are just kind of standing there. And then I have a dread knight dropped into his backfield, and I ended up taking his home objective with a unit of strike marines.
oh wow, very interesting. So now, all right, so you're 2-2 at this point in the tournament, right?
2-2. And so then I would say this is the game that hurt the most. This was probably also, this was also a really bad loss for me. This was another 100-40. My opponent was probably being kind of generous to give me those last 10 points to get me to 40. This was playing Imperial Knights, an army that I play, that I'm very familiar with, against a list that I've played against before with Grey Knights. He was running a Lancer. He was running a couple of the Melta Warglaves, a couple of the autocannon Helverine Little Knights, and Canis Rex. And that was basically it. And honestly, the story of this game, it's really simple. It's a story. We were playing a mission called Terraform, where if you stand on an objective, you can start doing an action on it. And if it completes at the end of your opponent's turn, every time it's your turn, you just score 2 points for each objective you have terraformed. It doesn't matter if you're on it or controlling it. It just, at the start of your turn, how many objectives have you terraformed? You score 2 points. He went first, and so he put Canis Rex on one far objective and said, I'm going to terraform it. He took the Lancer, the really tall guy in the middle, stuck it on the dead center objective and said, I'm going to terraform it. And he took 2 armigers, and he stuck it on the other far objective, no man's land objective, and said, I'm going to terraform it. And then he said, that's my turn, turn 1. And he looked at me and he said, what do you want to do? And so I know immediately what my misplay is. I talked to one of my like pro tabletop player friends, and I like figured out immediately, like it was funny. As soon as I told him about the game and my big mistake, he was like, oh, why didn't you do that? And I was like, oh, you're right. You're right. Immediately right.
Wow. So what did you do, and what's the correct play with something like this?
So what I did is I said, I know that Dread Knights can kill armigers. 2 Dread Knights will, in shooting, kill 1 armiger. Pretty much, I want to say every time, but pretty efficiently. So I was able to, and then if I can wound another one of the little knights in melee, because they don't have an invuln save in melee, if I spike up a little bit, I can kill it with power armored, just regular little guys with swords in melee. So the top objective that had 2 little knights, I committed 2 dread knights because I went bottom of turn. I'm able to, so this was end of my turn 2, which is very telling. This is bottom of turn 2, this picture here. But I killed the two little knights that were up at the top. I knew that I could, and so I did that. I committed to kill that, and I was like, I have to stop that one from being terraformed. Sure. Basically, I decided that Canis Rex, who was down on the bottom right objective, was going to terraform it. I have tried to shoot Dread Knights into it, or even 3 Dread Knights, even 4 Dread Knights into Canis, and he has taken almost no damage because the big knights are T12, and the strength of the big cannons are 10. You're only wounding them on 5s, so it is super swingy, even with multiple Dread Knights into the big knights. So Canis Rex, I decided he's going to terraform that bottom objective. He's got it. And I could get a lot, because the Lancer was in the center, I could get a lot more angles on him with more gun. All of my Razorbacks could see him, and I could get like 4 Dread Knights to see, or like 3 Dread Knights to see the Lancer. So my plan was, I'm going to commit 2 Dread Knights and like a Purifier squad, and they're going to kill the 2 little knights up at the top objective and stop it from terraforming it. And then I'm going to just all in commit to turn 1, killing this Lancer in the center of the board. And I shot. And so plan started. Little Knight, dead. Check.
Yep.
Charged in with the Strike Marines after grenading it and shooting it a little bit more, and it had wounded and killed it. Check. In shooting, though, into the Lancer, I put for all of my Hunter Killer missiles from the Rhino and their one-shot weapons from the Razorbacks. I hit with all of them, and I think I wounded with 3 of the 4. And then he made the Lancer as a 4-up invuln. He made 3 4-up invuln saves.
Wow.
I then shot him with 3 las cannons that are full rerolling to hit and twin linked, so full rerolling to wound. I hit with all 3 las cannon shots, wounded with all 3 las cannon shots. He then made all 3 4-up invulns.
Oh wow! Holy shit!
I then shot 3 Dread Knights into the Lancer in the center and had set up to charge him with 2 Dread Knights. So I shot 3 Dread Knights into the Lancer in the center. And because of I'm wounding on 5s, I think I handed him another between 3 Dread Knights. They have 6 shots with their big cannon, so I have 18 total shots. I think I maybe handed him 6 4-up invuln saves. He then made, I think, 5 of them, so he took 3 damage. And then between the Gatling silencers and stuff, I think he took another 3. So this is a 25 wound model. It's now on 19 health still in the center of the table. So he just could not stop making 4-ups. I then made both my charges off the Dread Knight, off 2 Dread Knights into him in the middle. I tank shocked on 8 dice, right? Because I have 8 dice, and on 5 ups, you do a mortal wound. On 8 dice, the math says you should do 2 to 3. I did 1. And then I fought with both Dread Knights. Now, they weren't Grandmaster Dread Knights, so I wasn't able to do their full big power-up thing where they get full rerolls to hit, wound, and damage.
Sure.
So, but again, with the hammers and stuff, I'm wounding on 3s now because the hammers are strength 14. I handed him, I get 10 attacks, or 5 from both Dread Knights, so I have 10 attacks. I think I handed him 8 4-up invuln saves. He made 7 of them. He then got to fight me back, and he killed a Dread Knight. It then went to his turn. I then fought him first because the defender goes first. I fought him first with the Dread Knight that was still in combat. I think I gave him 4 saves. He made 3 of them, and then killed that Dread Knight. And then Canis
God!
And so you're now starting to see what. And he was watching me on the other side of the table, like he can't keep getting away with it. Grabbing my hair, he's looking at me, rolling dice. I'm like, take 4 more saves.
All of his guys are just doing Matrix like dodges.
Yeah, I'm like, take 4 more saves. He rolls 4 more 4-ups, looks at me, goes, "I'm sorry, man." And like when your opponent just starts apologizing for it, you know it's going bad. And so then the final nail in the coffin is he's just obliterating me at this point. I have 1 single Dread Knight left. It's on my home objective. And he goes, I'm going to shoot at it with Canis Rex. Canis Rex has a D6 number of shot gun, so it's super swingy. He shoots into me. He hands me 4 4-up invuln saves on my full wound Dread Knight. And it's a 4 damage gun, which means I have to only make 1. I have to roll a single 4-up to live. And I made none of them and just evaporated. And I looked at him and I was like, the game was already so far out of my hands because you couldn't stop rolling 4s. And then I needed to make 1 and I couldn't roll any. And the game was over in 2 turns.
Oh, wow.
So this was probably my worst game. Now, what I should have done, as immediately what I realized what I should have done. The Lancer is OC 10. I had a bunch of guys inside of the Razorbacks. I could have got them out and got them on the objective and kind of ringed the Lancer. I didn't need to kill the Lancer. I just needed to contest or take the objective away from him to stop the terraform. So instead of committing like all of my big heavy hitters of my army into it, I could have still shot everything at him like I did from a little bit farther back, contested the objective, so he only terraformed the one that I let him terraform, contested the one that stops it because he has to be holding it at the end of my turn, and then killed everything off the other one that I needed to. So then he would have been contesting it. He still would have been alive, but all of my stuff also would have been alive.
Sure.
And then I would have been able to reposition again, and it just would have been a very different. I think I probably still would have lost just because he would have started really pressing into my into the middle with his big knights. It's still, again, forcing me to engage into them.
Sure.
But I would have had more turns to play the game. In this game, I played 2 turns of the game in this one.
Wow. So now, all right. So at this point, what's your record? 2 and 3.
I'm 2 and 3, halfway through the second day.
Okay. Now, what are we looking at here?
Orcs. My final game of day 2, game 6. Orcs.
Okay.
He was playing a kind of a I don't want to say off meta list, but he was playing a little. He was playing Bully Boys, I believe. Yeah, he was playing Bully Boys. He was named Anthony. He's running Gaz with Mega Knobs. He was running some trucks with Beast Snagaboys. That's what they're called. Beast Snagaboys inside of it. Honestly, it was a lot of green tide. It's just a green tide. A lot of very classic orcs. No shooting at all. Just boys in trucks and Mega Knobs with Gaz and more Beast Snagga boys in trucks and battle wagons and kill rig. I think just battle wagons, and they're just charging, screaming forward.
I played the game
Speed Freaks. I saw.
I'm looking at these vehicles. I'm like, oh, I played that one. So now, so how did this game go?
So I was luckily enough able to go second, which is a big advantage for me. It forces him to push out a little bit.
Sure.
And also, especially if you go first into orcs and kind of push too far forward, it lets orcs be orcs, and they're if they have a good list or kind of know what they're doing, they don't actually really need to think, because if you push too far forward, they can just push all of their models forward and they will usually win that engagement. But if they go for it first, it kind of forces them to actually think a little bit, because if they just push all their models forward and sit in the open, they're going to die. And they have to be a little bit more strategic on when he wants to call the wah and all that kind of stuff. So it already kind of puts him on the back foot. So he decided to play kind of cagey, push some things up, Again, his shooting is... I also, because he had no shooting, orcs have good shooting now. His list didn't bring any of the shooting units. So I was not concerned of basically any of my things standing in the open from a distance. Especially like, even if he had a couple of big guns on some of the big rigs and stuff like that, they hit on 4 or 5s, and so I just popped smoke on a Razorback, and now they're hitting on 5s and 6s. So
oh wow.
So I can pretty much stand in the open with no fear.
Because you're not worried about his range.
Your biggest concern is getting too close, and then before the wah happens or during the wah, and they just roll over you. Because the wah gives them so many buffs. It gives them a 5-up invuln. It gives them advance in charge. They have data sheet abilities that get better if it's during the wah.
Wow.
It's very strong.
So now, how did this... Let me go to the next picture here. This is still them. Okay. So now, how did this work? Did you wind up winning this fight, or
so after my...
it was ranged?
After my 3 losses, I didn't lose anymore. No more losing. I go 3-0 the rest of the event. So this is kind of similar to the Emperor's Children one, because they're very fast and very melee focused. Sure. I can force them to crash into my shield of Razorbacks, kill the Razorbacks, or try to kill the Razorbacks, and then I'm able to swarm around him or get guys out and stuff like that and kill things. So like in the previous picture, you can kind of even see that. Gaz ended up charging into... Those Dread Knights weren't there. Gaz was. He was actually sitting in between 2 Razorbacks. They died, but then I was able to take the Dread Knights and give Gaz a very nice hug with 3 Dread Knights.
Wow.
Something that I actually talked to one of my teammates about between this round and the night round, is one of the things I needed to think about is the Lancer conundrum that my Knight player had given me by putting him in the middle. Is one thing that I also should have done is I didn't have one of my Grandmaster Dread Knights, or in my deployment, I should always deploy where I can have a Grandmaster Dread Knight that doesn't advance and charge, in range to, if my opponent puts something big and scary in the middle, he can just walk up 8 and charge into it and kill it. And so I basically went into it now every game after that thinking about that. So I've deployed in such a way that every time if my opponent decided to go, here is a big scary thing for my army dead center, my Grandmaster Dread Knight can simply walk around a wall 8 inches and charge into it and kill it.
Oh, wow.
And so that's kind of what happened. Everything crashed into the center, it died, and then I was positioned very nicely to counterpunch and
Just slowly
sweep it
take
up,
that
sweep it up very fast. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so this one you won. Did you
Yeah.
give him a patch? You gave him a patch, right?
Yeah. This was a 64-33 game. I was in the driver's seat pretty much the whole time for this one.
Very cool. So now this is the Grey Knight you were talking about before.
Yeah. So at the end of day 2, they did the painting showcase. Those first 2 days, there were judges walking around to help like judge the event, but also to look at different armies, and they would pick different armies that they wanted to have go on showcase. One of my teammates, he has a beautiful Eldar army that he had commissioned. He got picked for a showcase, so he went. So I took some pictures of some Grey Knight armies and some very pretty armies that were out on display at the end of this day 6. Cool. So this was a Grey Knight player. This was actually the Grey Knight player I played.
This is the picture that I actually put as the part of the thumbnail for today's.
And honestly, this picture doesn't even do. I should have taken a better picture. This picture does not do it justice because you can see all the Grey Knights there. All their guns are trained on that little like sorcerer and demon, but there's actually a warp portal, almost like a doom
behind him?
demon portal behind him. And so it looks like he's just stepped out of it, and all of these Grey Knights and sisters and stuff are standing there with their stormbolters trained on the portal. It's such a cool diorama.
That's awesome, dude. That's crazy.
And I mean, seeing it,
cool.
I
awesome
understand
job,
100% like how he won the hobby ITC scoring last year.
Wow, very cool. All right, so what am I looking at here besides these are Necrons?
These are Necrons. So this is beginning of the last day. This is game 7. There's only 2 games on the Sunday game day. Interesting tidbit about the tournament. If you had gone 6-0 at the end of day 2, I think there were only like 9 people that had done that. Mm-hmm. You have to then play a shadow round. And at the end of playing 3 games on the second day on Saturday, you have to then play a 4th game that goes from like 9 till like midnight to determine the seeding to who gets to play each other for the finals of the last 2 games. Basically, for like it's the seeding for 1st through 9, or through 8.
Wow.
Which is the secret shadow round. So we kind of stayed late to look at the painting competition and then watch a little bit of these, like Folger Piles was there. I might probably mispronouncing that, but he won the world championships with Custodes last year. He actually came in 2nd. He lost in the finals with Eldar at this event. So there were like some like really big names at this event that were kind of cool to see. We kind of milled around and watched them play, and so watching like high level, like high like I think I'm pretty good at Warhammer, but watching like literal professionals play is very cool. So this was Necrons though, my final game. Kind of going into the last day, vibes are pretty good. Everyone's pretty tired, but usually like at this point, everyone realizes that like, hey, especially at this point, right? Me and both my opponents are we're 3-3 now, going into this day, and we're both like, hey, listen, we're both 3-3. We're not gonna win the event. Like, let's just have a good game, you know? Sure. So vibes were really good across all my games, my 2 games this last day. Oh man, but this was, I know you wanted me to pick my favorite, but this was a really cool game too. He was playing a very interesting list. He had a lot of pewter models there too. And it's fun enough, he was bringing a Necron Titanic model, which is that massive thing you see it there. It's called
is that Forge World?
Yes, it's called a Serapect Construct or something like that.
Wow.
It's it is massive. Like you can see the pictures a couple pictures ago, the picture of it
Sure.
in the tray. It's huge. It's
Beautiful
also
thing.
like almost 600 points of his list.
Wow.
Honestly, big moment of this was one, he didn't roll super great. He had a couple like unfortunate rolls, like he gets reanimations and resurrection orbs to resurrect guys. And so once per game, he has a resurrection orbs in one of his squads, and it's a once per game ability where
Sure.
at the end of a phase, if models have died, he can pop it and he can resurrect D6 number of guys back. And so I had gunned down a bunch of his warriors and brought them down to like 4 guys. And he's like, I'm gonna pop my resurrection orb and see if I can get like potentially the whole squad, almost the whole squad back. And he rolled a 1 and got a single guy back on 1 wound. So that was kind of unfortunate.
Sure.
But then the big thing was he pushed the Silent King, which is the other big massive model that's in the center there,
Yeah,
into the
I see
middle.
that.
Me, thinking about my previous loss, had deployed
Grandmaster.
in such a way to where my 2 this time, because I looked at his list, I realized that his list is just 2 giant things,
Vegas.
basically.
Uh-huh.
He had the 2 smaller, like little spider walkers,
I see
but those
that.
guys were very easy for a couple las cannons and then strike marines or inceptors to kind of bully
Finish off.
to jump on to. So the 2 things I was really worried about was the Silent King in the middle and the big walker, the giant Titanic walker. The Titanic walker also, its guns are crazy. Crazy.
They look insane.
Each gun is 2d6 number of shots, and he has 2 of them, so it's
Wow.
4d6 number of shots.
What's the range on those?
He can shoot the other table. I think it's like 48 or 36, so it's not actually crazy, but it long enough that he can hit me from pretty much anywhere.
Sure.
High strength. It's like flat 3 AP, flat 4, 5, I think it's flat 4 damage. And then the scariest part is it has devastating wounds. So every 6 he rolls, I don't get a save against at all. He just does 4 damage. So if he rolls really high on number of shots and then rolls really hot to wound, and he did it once, he just rolled, I think he rolled on 46. He rolled, I think it was over 20 shots. He's hitting on 3s, so he converted, I think, like 18 or 19 shots. And then he's rolling to wound, and he rolled 4 6s, and that's just takes 4 times 4, 16 damage.
Sure. Wow.
And that just Dread Knight dead. I don't roll any dice. I just pick it up. But I deployed in such a way where he put the Silent King in the middle, 2 Grandmaster Dread Knights, and honestly, this might have been the highlight of the weekend, just in terms of like single moment wise. 2 Grandmaster Dread Knights held hands and they sauntered up the middle, and then because only one of them can do their full rerolls to hit, wound, and damage, but in Warpbane there is a stratagem that lets you reroll 1s to wound. So I had one of them pop his ability for full rerolls to everything, and then spent a CP to give the other one reroll 1s to wound. So I had 1 Grandmaster Dread Knight that was rerolling hits, wounds, and damage into the Silent King, and another Grandmaster Dread Knight that was rerolling all hits because of Warpbane, rerolling 1s to wound because of the stratagem. And with all the rerolls and everything, they literally just together just Superman punched the Silent King out of existence. Then his big walker then followed up behind him. I think actually that's in the next picture. Into the middle. He killed one of the Dread Knights, one of the Grandmaster. Yeah, so you can see the 2 Grandmaster Dread Knights sauntering there, holding hands, high five in the middle. Hell yeah. The big walker walked up, shot and charged and killed one of them. The other one, like a boss, I made a bunch. My dice after the last day decided to, forgive me. And I spiked a bunch of my 4-up invuln saves, and he lived. And then I basically was able to do the same thing. Yeah, I had this really cool action shot of it coming around the corner. So he killed one of those Grandmaster Dread Knights that were in the middle, but then the one there that's kind of out of focus then walked up and filled his place, and they were able to then kill it in the next turn.
Wow.
And that was basically the game, right? Because that's his whole list, are those 2 big
that's 600 points
centerpiece model. 2 big centerpiece models. Like between the Silent King and it's probably over 1,000 points. So that's really his list, and I was able to do that. And it was awesome. So like anytime you can fight like giant things like big monsters like that. It's very like cinematic.
Want to say quickly, Kenzo, what's going on, dude? Hopefully you're having a good Sunday. That's awesome. That's a great shot too. We're gonna have to. Is it gonna work here? Let me see if this works. Yay! We rolled the hammer. All right, great. So this is your final match. You took this one out. You won this one.
This
So
yes,
you wound up.
this was second. This was the second to last. I won 100-47. It was probably my biggest, most like firm victory.
Wow. So here we go. This is the Ultramarines fight, right? We're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is my final game, Ultramarines. My opponent was really awesome. His name was Chad. Really cool guy. He hadn't played. He'd never played against Grey Knights before. So, like I said, once I hear that from my opponent, I kind of start to salivate. It's definitely a good thing for me, because once you kind of are familiar with the tricks of Grey Knights and you're savvy with them, because you can read about them, and like he understood what my army did in concept. But once you actually see someone do it to you, and you start to understand, you can it's a lot easier to combat. That's why I can't play against any of my friends anymore. They know me too well. But so he never fought against Grey Knights, which is a big help. But Gladius is nasty. He's running. It was pretty much like all the good stuff. Rabute Gilliman's in there.
Yeah, I see.
Marnius. Actually, he wasn't running all the good stuff. I don't think Marnius Calgar was here, which is big. Marnius Calgar not being in the list is massive, because Marnius Calgar is incredibly hard to kill. He gives Ultramarines an extra CP a turn. Gilliman gives you a free stratagem a turn, and then you can bring captains and stuff that give you free strats. So Ultramarines can use all of the stratagems and command points, all that they want. But he didn't have Calgar, and so that was actually a big thing that wasn't in the list. Gilliman is still nasty. He had a Land Raider Redeemer in there, so the nasty Flamestorm cannons on the side. He had
paint job is awesome on these.
Yeah, he had a cool snow base. I think his army had actually been selected as one of the Space Marine or Ultramarine showcase armies.
Wow.
He had a Repulsor Executioner in there. It's got a nasty laser on it. Blade Guard with a Judiciar, so they have fights first. Sure. A big brick of aggressors with an Apothecary Biologist, some Melta Eradicators. A lot of the good classic like Ultramarines, Combined Arms, Gladius Task Force stuff that you're kind of used to. I think though, because he hadn't fought against Grey Knights, honestly, he lost the game in deployment.
Oh, what did he do? Did he put another big ticket item in the front?
So he didn't put anything in front. Because he had never fought against Grey Knights, and the deployment zones in this matchup was Hammer and Anvil, so they were 18 inches up from long ways. So it's actually the farthest distance you can be from each other in the deployment maps right now. Okay. He deployed all of his stuff too far back.
I was just saying he played really, really passive.
Yeah. So in this matchup, he actually, if he had forced a lot of stuff at me at once, I wouldn't have had the tools to kill all of it. Instead, he kind of forced, like he took the Land Raider that had the Apothecary Biologist in it and all of the aggressors, and he eventually pushed it to the middle. And he killed a bunch of stuff, because with Oath of Moment and +1 to wound from Oath of Moment, and all of the really good stratagems from Gladius Task Force, like he killed a bunch of my like Inceptors and stuff that I had put into the center. But because one of the big things though, he had Blade Guard and a Judiciar inside the Repulsor Executioner, but it was on one really far, way back on one side.
I see in the far right.
And so I'm basically able to stay on the other side of the table and shoot and eventually kill all the Eradicators and kill the Land Raider. And by then he doesn't have any board presence like at all. And because of the map and stuff that we were on, there are little tiny pieces of terrain. You can kind of see in this picture where my two Dread Knights are. There's a tiny little footprint that they are huddling behind. So that Repulsor Executioner cannot see those two Dread Knights. So I'm able to hold that objective, actually both objectives, on the top and the bottom,
foot is just
from behind those pieces of terrain. and he can never, unless he goes all the way out to get me, he can never touch them. And so he never forced the issue. He let me get onto them first, and then he was never able to come and engage me kind of correctly. So I won this one 84-50.
Nice.
Because of it.
Who is this?
So that's me. That's me with a heavy bolter. You're seeing my inner child come out. The sister of battle was sitting down and was taking a load off, and me and my buddy came up and we were like, can we take a picture with the heavy bolter?
That's humongous, dude. Wow. Very cool. Very cool. So this is the shot from before with the very impressive Grey Knight. This looks the Grey Knight army. This looks awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Very cool. So overall, did you have a good fun experience at the Dallas major?
10 out of 10. We'll do again. Honestly, Dallas was that I didn't get to like explore Dallas or anything, but the weather was really nice, and the Uber rides back and forth from where I was staying, you know, the scenery seemed nice and stuff like that. The Texas accent is nice. I do think I like that.
So now, how did you guys all stay in the same hotel? Did you stay in the same hotel room? What did you guys do?
Lucky enough, my dad is actually staying in Dallas right now.
Oh, cool.
So I was able to, and actually he was staying only about 20-25 minutes from the esports arena. So all of my teammates got an Airbnb and roomed together, but I was able to stay with him.
Ooh, very nice.
Big shout out to my dad for letting me crash.
Dude, looks like you had an awesome time, dude.
It was, and I learned a lot. And I will say, after playing at the ATC team event that I played last month, that was only 5 games. But after playing it, I was like, you know what? I need after playing that weekend, I was like, I need a week of not thinking or playing Warhammer, not even looking at dice. But then after this and playing more intense games, I came home and I was like, I need to practice. I can't wait to play more. So that was a really cool feeling. And I was nervous about my first like big super major like that, but I wanted to go at least for like my minimum goal. I wanted to go 4-4. So going 5-3 was awesome.
That's awesome, dude. Very cool. Congratulations, and thank you for handing out patches. That was very cool.
No, of course. I'm gonna keep doing it. So
awesome. Very cool. So what is the next tournament you're going to be heading to?
So I've got 2 on the docket right now in this month. Next, this coming weekend that we're about to have, I'm going to play in a small team tournament in Palm Bay, Florida. Playing my Grey Knights. I'm going to be taking, I'm ditching the transports for a little bit.
Okay.
I think just for the team event, at least for now. I think for my regular singles list, I'll probably be using the transports. But I think for the team event, I'm going to go full violence. I'm running 6 Dread Knights. I'm running 3 Librarians. I'm going to run a Land Raider Redeemer. I'm going to kill you if it's the last thing I do.
I'm putting all my chips in, baby.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to run not a silly list, but like only violence. I do not care about scoring points. I am going to try and table you, and if I don't do that, I'm going to lose. So I'm playing that next weekend. The weekend after that is a RTT in my local area, and then next month is a GT in Kissimmee, which is also about an hour away from me.
Very cool. Well, it seems like you are ready to jump back in there and get some more tournament action going on, so that's awesome.
Yes. I'll definitely let you know how the casino cannons go this coming weekend.
Yeah, let me know how that worked out. That sounds hysterical. You got to get like you got to take like a video of like each time you're doing it, and then capture the video of you getting the casino roll, and then we'll put like a casino like cha-ching on there.
Hell yeah. I will be videotaping all my Vortex of Doom rolls, and my opponents were like, what are you doing? And I'm like, just let me.
I know.
I'm rolling. I'm doing this.
I know what we'll do. In Cascade Demon Hunters, they have the Vortex, right?
Yeah, that is Vortex of Doom. That is what you are doing.
So we're gonna put that animation over anytime that you do it.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. Well, it looks awesome, my dude. Your army looks great. I am very, very jealous of your custom NDK there. That looks great.
I've even
Um,
upgraded all of my bases now. My entire army has like little tufts of green grass across the
oh, very
bases now,
cool. Very
so
cool.
they're all a little bit upgraded.
So let me ask you a question. When if they do, because the rumor is 11th edition, they're going to do, whether I want to say hi to Spark, what's going on, dude? Hopefully you got home from work okay. Um, so with the 11th edition and the possible refresh coming, what is your like if they do a refresh for it, are they gonna, do you think they do it, it's just gonna be on the power armor and the Terminators? What do you think it's gonna be?
I mean, if they do that, that's like a full range refresh because they're not
Sure.
doing a Dread Knight refresh with the new sprue that just came
No,
out.
no,
So
no, no,
that's staying. So literally the only refreshes they have to do are the power armor, the power armored
Yep.
Marines,
Hmm.
Terminators, and Drago. Because Crow's already done.
Yep.
I have I hope Stern stick around because he's a cool character, but I have a sinking feeling. This is just totally based on me thinking. I have a sinking feeling he might go to Legends. He's
Mm.
got an old model. Um, he's not used a ton. He's cool. Like I've seen some lists in him. I've run him a few months ago, but he's just like a weird kind of old character that's not like really relevant in the lore a ton right now. So I could see him kind of being,
Legend off.
all right, Grandpa, time to go to the retirement home for Stern. So it's really just Drago, the Terminators, and the power armor. So I
Very
mean, if
cool.
they do a full refresh like that, I will say I'll be, while I want a refresh, I'll be slightly annoyed because I have such a massive army. So I would probably, if anything, I'll probably end up, as long as they don't change the base sizes, I'd probably end up picking maybe a box or two of each squad, and just to have them, and
Sure.
still use all my old stuff. Just like I've committed so hard to those models.
That's historical. You don't know, your models look great. Do you think they're gonna upgrade the rhinos across the board for
There's always concern that the rhinos, like all the rhinos and razorbacks and stuff, get shuffled off too because they're like, I don't know, but I don't know because like we can't use right now, we can't use repulsors or
sure.
impulsors or any of the grav tanks. We don't have access to any of the Primaris dreadnoughts or anything like that. So unless they plan on,
Giving
like
them
you said,
something
updating the
different.
model or giving us now access to Primaris vehicles, I don't see how they take them away from us.
Yeah,
And it's an
that makes
iconic,
sense.
like it's kind of an like same thing with the Land Raider. Like they're old, but they're kind of iconic.
Yeah, I don't see them taking away that. It'll be interesting to see what happens with 11th edition. So,
Yeah.
but all right. So so not this. Well, this week we'll have Armageddon coming out, right? So that'll be awesome. Um, we'll have the Grey Knight Codex coming out probably July, August, right? Is what we're thinking. The next big thing that's gonna be happening is I'll be getting my um my shipment from China, which is right now on a shipping. It's a shipping container that's being shipped via a boat, so it's on the ocean going to my house. So once I get that, uh, just be ready for anybody who's watching on the channel because it's going to be just complete Grey Knights from that point on. Because I'm going to do a stream of Cascade Demon Hunter wearing the mask with the voice modulation on the stream, playing Cascade Demon Hunter from beginning to end. And we're going to do, oh my God, dude, I have so many plans. I have all of my Grey Knights JOYTOY figures, and what I'm gonna do is I do like one. I think I'm doing up to 2 unboxings, but we're gonna do JOYTOY comparisons between the figures and the miniatures that I have. And
Cool.
then I have another NDK to open. There's just a ton of stuff we're gonna do. It's gonna be all blown out Grey Knights for a straight month. So,
Yeah. Well,
um,
I can talk next Sunday if you want about the team tournament. I'll let you know how the Casino Cannons
oh
go
yeah,
for them.
that'd be awesome. Yeah, 100%. Definitely. And again, we have a bunch more stuff coming up this next couple of weeks. So, all right, guys. Again, I want to say thank you to our guest Mike, who
Thanks
is
for
at
having
this
me
point
again. Yeah.
he's a friend of the channel, so he's not a guest, he's a friend of the channel. But if you guys like this content, please like and subscribe. Again, I got some more stuff going on this week. We're gonna do an unboxing live on the remaining Custodes figures, which I have because we did Valdor. So we're just going to finish up all the Custodes figures that I have. We'll probably do that Wednesday night. We got more gaming going on. We got I started up the new scenario of Battle Sector with the sisters and the orc. So we're on, I think it's going to be the third version. I'm playing the Astartes 2 mod on Space Marine 2, which is amazing. I played, dude, it was 5 hours I played on one mission. I played with endless swarm or endless swarms essentially. True solo, so it means I have no other Space Marines helping me. NPCs, I have one life, so it can only be down one time, and then I have it on the hardest setting as well. So, and also with the Astartes mod, it just makes like the enemies just insane. So
So a fair fight.
dude, dude, I got up to the last, so the entire thing took like 4 hours. I finally got up to Trigon, or about who's the end boss on that board, and it was about 3 hours. I've spent an hour to an hour and a half trying to kill Trigon. I finally got it at 4 o'clock in the morning, and my next day at work, I'm just, this was such a terrible idea. But anyway, the point is we have a lot more stuff going on this week. We'll talk to, actually, next weekend, we're going to do the ToyHammer After Dark. We're gonna do it in the afternoon because we're gonna have Mario from Mario's Finite Collectibles, who does Joy Toy reviews. He is in Europe. We're gonna do the Toy Hammer at about 4 o'clock Eastern time. So what I'll do is I'll speak to you and we'll figure out another time to do an update on your tournament. And then again, we have the Armageddon Crusade book coming. So, all right, guys, this was a bit of a long one, but we had a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys follow along too. Again, comment in the comment section. Let me know if you like this stuff. If you have anything that you want to ask Mike about his list or about his tournament experience, you can also throw it in the comments as well.
Yeah, hit me up on Discord too. I'm happy to answer questions.
Absolutely. You are in the Discord as well. So, all right, guys, have a good night. Again, guys, I'll be seeing you. I'm Wraith. I'm out. Later, guys.
See ya.
All right.